Hello. I wanted to make my first video about some paranormal experiences that I've had. I've had quite a few in my life, in my past, and even to this day. But I wanted to tell you about the specific one that was, I believe, to be pretty good. And my cat's trying to get in here. He's driving him crazy, so don't mind him. But it's a house in Glendale, Arizona. I was probably like 19. I was going to a trade school. I was fresh out of high school. My God. And it was pretty active. Now, there was a lot of things I kept trying to think that was maybe more like a portal because, so it was just a regular brick house. It was set up just regular, had a garage, brick, an ordinary neighborhood. And so if you're sitting on the couch looking at the TV, the front door is over here to the side. Well, to the right was the kitchen, and you had a dining room. And so as you're watching TV, to the corner of your eye, you see movement in there. Well, as you're just kind of, trying to ignore it, all of a sudden it looks like people. Like, you can see the bodies, figures, the head, the shoulders, and they're walking in a row, like behind each other. And they're just walking. And they're walking. And they're just walking through. And you look over there, there ain't nothing there. So you just ignore it, but you see it all day long. So, not really thinking anything of it. We had a dining room that was right there. And my mom turned it into a little sitting area. So it had like a little chair and a TV. That way she can have her little privacy. But if you're in there sitting, you can see into the living room, you could see the same thing. But it was from the front door to back where the bedrooms were. Bodies, like people walking, like they were just like in a row set up, and they're just, walking like in a line, and behind the person, in front of the other person, and they're figures of bodies. And they're just walking through. And, I didn't really understand it that much, as much as I do now. So I wasn't really into it that much. I was a little bit, not really scared, but I was just a little bit like, no, I'm good. But that's not the part that used to get me, because that seemed like it was just a residual. It just happened all the time. We had this one that liked to mess with us. And so behind the couch was my mom's bedroom, or her walk-in closet. She had this big walk-in closet. And so behind the couch, the wall was where her closet was. And I'd be home by myself, just sitting there watching TV, and there'd be this loud bang on the wall. And I got up, called my mom at work, and I was like, Mom, there is this, something just banged in your closet. And of course, she's like making sure nothing fell over. She's like, go check it out. And I'm like, you must got me messed up. Oh shit, I got the wrong number. But so, just for her sake, I went to go check it out. She didn't have a whole lot of stuff in there. She had clothes hanging up, but not much. I do know for 1 year she dressed up for Halloween. It was a jester. And she made this cane. It had like a styrofoam skull on top. And it was all black. And it had, the cane bottom. And it had bells hanging from it. And she used it for a cane for her jester. Because at that time she used the cane because she had really bad arthritis. She doesn't use it much now, but she used it really bad back then. And so she wanted to kind of blend in with her costume. And so, oh shit. Well, the only thing I seen in there was that leaning up against the wall. And I was like, well, it's not really moved. It's just there. It's in the same place. So she's like, all right, well, my brother home by himself. I'm at school. And he hears the same thing. same bang, nothing out of place. Well, my mom, she slept in that room. And after hearing that bang, I used to go in there, take pictures. I don't have any of the pictures because it's been so long ago, and it's been through like several cameras, and it's moving and all kinds of things. Well, I used to take pictures in there, and you would see like these light anomalies on the ceiling, just like, not like orbs, not round. They were like elongated, like balls. They weren't really balls. They were like long ovals, just like all over her ceiling. Well, there's several different nights she'd be asleep, and I'm sorry, I'm in my little office, and there's not a whole lot of good light back here, so I'm sorry. But she'd be trying to get to sleep, as she's starting to fall asleep. Well, she slept with a neck pillow, and the neck pillows, they have like a, I don't have one in here. They have like a tag right here. Well, she started hearing like this weird movement over to the side, and it was just like, and she was looking up and around, and she's like, what the hell, So finally she realized it was the tag, and it was just flapping away. And she's like, okay, like she had her fan on, so she was thinking like, okay, well, it was on low. She used it mainly just for the noise, not for like the air. So it was set on low. So she just reached over and she grabbed the tag and she let it go, and it stopped. Never did it again. And at the same time, she felt this really like hard breeze blow over her face. It was she says it wasn't the fan because it was set on low, but it was like just somebody walked up and just blew on her face, like, really hard, and it like freaked her out. Well, there was one night, she said she had this container sitting on I think it's the same side that she was hearing the movement with the tag. I think it was on that side. But she had this container that had like blankets in it. And she says it was a lid that you had to push really hard to lock it. So it really made this loud snapping sound. And you had to like pull the handle a certain way to get it open. Well, she was laying there, and I think she just like had the lid laying on top because it was, too pain in the butt to deal with. And she says all of a sudden, as she was falling asleep, she heard this loud snap, like the lid locking. And she said she just about jumped out of bed, scared the crap out of her. And she realized that it was the lid that locked and stuff like that. And also that stain, like another thing is that cane I told you about, she had it out of the closet leaning up against her wall. I was like against her dresser or whatever. And it was funny because she was, again, she says it always happened when she was fixing to fall asleep or into a sleep or something. And again, she's fixing to fall asleep, and she hears the bells ring on her little cane that she made for Halloween. And she got up, she looked, and she was thinking, well, maybe it just fell over. And it didn't. It didn't even move. And she's like, the bells ring. Like, okay. So she had a lot more like personal experiences in that room. I didn't sleep in that room. I didn't really have much that I remember in my room. The only ones I remember are the banging on the walls and the people walking through the kitchen. But there is one more. I had dated this guy. We had him staying there for a while with me, but we kind of split up, and he was just, we have geese and ducks outside, and they're making all kinds of noise out there. But he was not a nice person. And we were taking pictures outside, just kind of like chilling, and I had a digital camera. And I know some of y'all don't, care about this, but I thought it was that was pretty cool. And I don't have one of the pictures of me, but I do have the picture of him. And let's see if I can find it here. But what happened was we went out to the front yard and we were taking pictures of each other as I make a bunch of noise. And he took a picture of me first, and it had this, like, you couldn't even see my face. It was, hold on. It was so, like, it covered my face completely, and you couldn't see my face. It was just like this white mist went from my feet, wrapped all the way around my body, and covered up my face. And you couldn't even see my face. You just see that, you see like parts of my arms or whatever. And at that time I was thinking, okay, well, you know, maybe it was just some weird light shit or something. But then I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna take a picture of you. So I took a picture of him, and as I drop everything on the floor. So I took a picture of him, and then as I was looking at the picture, there seemed to be this weird, like, kind of like a double exposure, but not really. Like, it looked like it was him, but his face was different. Like, it took a picture of him, but right over his shoulder was like, it looked like him, but it was taller, and the face was like evil looking. Now I have this picture, and I didn't have a chance to do anything with it, but let me show you this picture. So that's the original picture. Okay, you can kind of see him, but I enhanced it because I wanted to see what his face looked like, and that is the enhancement. Original, kind of looks like him. Thought, you know, maybe it was just a double exposure, but then I enhanced it because I was curious, and that definitely does not look like him. But I mean, anybody has their thoughts on stuff like that, but you know, I'm just telling you my experiences, things that I had happen in my life, and I have a whole bunch more that I want to share. I got a bunch more videos. I want to do some cemetery walkthroughs. There is a cemetery in Cleburne that has some history, some really bad history. I want to do some research on that and tell you all a little bit about it. My God, tell y'all a little bit about it, and do another video for that, and do a couple more walkthroughs and cemeteries, and do some more histories. But I also want to do some like paranormal walkthroughs, like more buildings and stuff. Like, I've done a lot. You know, I've been to Tombstone, Arizona, and Queen Mary in California, and you know, had some really cool things. And but I would like to share more with you, and so if you're interested in watch, and if you like this video, like, if you want to hear more, you know, please subscribe. It helps me out a lot. But thank y'all.